Okay, Sunday, June the 7th, 2020, we're at the 4014 Kent House. So our first impression coming up the street is that we were not impressed. There may be a little bit of rationale going here, but you know, you've got a few junk collectors going on here. I'm not going to swing this back too far because our next door neighbor has got a little bit of that going on, little redneck on him, so we'll be careful with that. Not the best thing, but it seems to be a lot of the norm, right, in this price range. But we drove around the neighborhood and there's some amazing properties in this place. I mean, it is just amazing. Okay, so we think that this is about 10 feet up, right? These beams, I don't know who sprayed that on there. Somebody who's really stupid did that. This thing seems to be pretty cool. No problem with that. All this goes, all junk. It all has to get gone. The garage is really roomy. Little bit of neatening up of wires, things like that, like cosmetic stuff, right? I don't even know what this is. It's a piece of metal that's coming undone. That's where the edge of the house actually is. So I'm gonna, now that I'm over here by this little storage area, so this is the staircase going up to the deck, which is really big. This will hold a ton of stuff in here, right? And so you've got this crappy old cabinet, but it is a cabinet, and I think it's going to work pretty good. So yeah, what's up?
Awesome realtor.
You awesome realtor. Yeah, there he is, right? Yep. All right, man. Yes. See ya. Love the beams. I love the height. The garage door just needs adjusting. It doesn't go up all the way, but this is a pretty big space, and I can do a lot with this. And it's got this overhanging thing in there. That's pretty cool. You know, a lot of just crap. Some of this. So this is the laundry room, and Honey can't reach. So this would either need a step to get in here, or we're thinking about just bringing our machines from Plano and sticking them in here, not putting them on a platform, because I've seen these platforms before, and I don't know why they exist, to be honest. I just can't figure it out. It just makes no sense. So, and they lift the hot water heater too. So why might that be? I think we might find out. There's a, well, I hope he leaves that. That happens to be the exact power washer that I have. It is the exact machine. We can't figure out what the deal is with this golf cart. I'm sure it's probably batteries. It's always the batteries. Yeah, nothing ever good comes of a battery, that's for sure. These are real big and beefy, heavy, you know, things, but they're corroded. So it's either you just kind of leave them and, you know, get the big chunks of paint that are coming off and just spray it, which is probably what I would do. But this serves a pretty good security function because the rest of the backyard is it's enclosed. So I like this, but I kind of don't like it in the condition that it is. So it's going to need maybe some Rust-Oleum for rusty metal, right? Something like that. Inspector found this problem where he was running the dishwasher and it's leaking. So it's coming out of this box. You can't see anything, and then it left this puddle behind. So he's going to include that in his report. We had a talk about Plano plumbing, right? So he kind of knows where I stand with that stuff. And he poked the camera down this hole, and I suspect I saw a little bit of it. I don't think there's really going to be a problem there. This is all sort of a bunch of crap and needs to go. So, you know, this is landfill stuff as far as I'm concerned. It's in real rough shape. The grill is rusting and, you know, doing all kinds of bad things, but I think it would open up better. All these bushes, I see them going. This thing is amazing. I don't even know what it is, but it just needs a little bit of love. And get rid of those stupid bricks that are around the back, but cut out most, if not all, of these dumb roses. Power wash that fence, get all the crap off of that. I'm gonna reserve judgment on this thing. I don't know what to do with it, but it needs some kind of fixing. All that goes. I'd leave that palm tree. This thing has got to go. It's a water urn. This is a rig right here. We think that this was like an animal, like was back here or something, and so it has the base. It has the base fence, and then they grabbed another like piece. See, the roller is upside down on it, and just tied it together and tied it on here to make it higher, and then covered up the hole that was left with that grate over there, which is stuff you get at, you know, in the storage organization part in at Home Depot. Okay, so then there's this little weird little closet, this creepy little weird closet. And it's got power in it for some reason, and we don't know what that was. The former owner, I don't know. I can figure out something to do with that. You know, put some rakes and shovels or something in it. This is all old cable that all needs to be cut. Talked about that with the inspection guy, and he's like, yeah, you can get rid of that. We got some wood here that probably needs to come down. Now this stuff on the top cap is composite, and it has a chalky feel to it. That's like a shingle material in between there. You see how it builds up junk, right? It just needs to be rinsed and cleaned. This whole deck just needs a good power wash, to be honest. So if I come up here and we get to the deck, we realize that the railing is actually quite loose, and would be almost probably one of the top priorities to get fixed. So here's what happens. This is what it's supposed to look like on the larger beams with those big lags in it, and they've popped, or the wood is cracked in a number of different places. So if I stand back, you can see you got this one here, and you got this one here, and let's go on the other side and see what it looks like. Okay, that one looks good. This one, they're all gone, right? So the whole railing tends to wanna move, especially in the middle. That's probably where people were really spending most of their time. So watch, right? So that needs some doing. There's power here. That's awesome. I would say that this deck is amazing. You can see I predicted that the sun was to the back of the house, which is actually true. So in the heat of the day, the shadow of the house protects the outdoor living spaces, which I really like. We want to make these bigger. These look odd the way these are kind of smallish, I guess you might say. And they'll have to be tied in up there, you know, to make it look right, I guess is one way to do it. This box is for the lift, right? So it actually runs on a remote control, like a TV remote control. And you open it here. And it's got a secondary gate for when you go down. But that's pretty sizable. I mean, this looks like about 4.5 by 4.5 would be my guess, and it's got a lot of stuff on it, right? So you know, aluminum, it's not rusting, but it definitely is, you know, getting a little deteriorated. All right, I'm gonna go inside. Almost forgot the shower. So it's cold water only. I don't know if I put this in the first video, right? But we have a slab here, which is really nice. And it looks like the box that went around this thing, just like somebody took it apart. I'm not really sure about that. But it's pretty basic. Yeah, you could, you know, rinse off with that, but you know, because this big stupid, you know, thing is in the way, you got to walk around on the grass to get over here, which this thing is not making any sense to me, right? It looked good in pictures. It's not. It just got to come out and pretty much go to the junkyard, and that's that. But I do wonder what could be done with hot water. Yeah, TBD, I think, is the answer with that. So really nice here at this time of day. I mean, everything is nice and cool. There's a breeze coming through here, a really nice breeze. You can see we're about, I think we're pushing about 6 o'clock, something like that. And you can see here that the sun just kind of creeps across, but it's not going to go any further because of where the garage is located. So there's nothing there to be learned or changed. But this space under here is really great. I love these big fat beams. These things are awesome. They're just gigantic. They must be a foot across, you know, like, what do they do, 11.5 inches of finished dimension. So, yeah. Everything needs to be power washed. That is true for sure. Plumbing, a lot of this looks new. Take that. And it extends into that garage, and I saw a lot of the Wisconsin tees, things like that. They were all they look new to me, so that's good news. But Neil will give us a report here in a little bit. Okay, so despite any stories that we may have been told, we totally believe this was a rental, and they're trying to get rid of it. They may have lived here at one point, but that's not the case right now. This mom is definitely not happy with this refrigerator, even though functionally it may be okay. It's in pretty rough shape, and that may be hard to describe on a camera, but it's got rust. It's just not going to clean up, right? That's not going to happen. She says the back is so, it's all goopy with grease, right? So it's never been properly cleaned, that kind of thing. It's a lot of cosmetic stuff, I would say, is probably the biggest problem. Right now, the dishwasher, we know from downstairs, is leaking somehow. So I think that the appliances are probably usable for a period of time, but Mom's not going to be happy with them the way they are, and we probably end up having to replace, which is, in my mind, not really a big surprise. Let me turn the light off. Yeah, light is off. How would I describe this place? I think the windows are really nice. I mean, they are. I mean, there's like seriously decent windows in here. But everything needs cleaning. Every single thing needs a good scrubbing to get in the corners and get the dirt out that you can clearly see. So the cabinets are these real cheap pulls on them, but they're actually raised panels, and that's actually thicker than I even have at my own house. We have this, this going on. I mean, that's happened at our house too, right? Because it's damp over here or whatever, and it tends to fray. So you got to, do a molding job on it, right, to get it to cover up, or you just have to replace it. Cut this out. This light is interesting. Or maybe just replace that with something that's not a curly Q would be probably decent. Now here's the view out the window here. I mean, you can see the torn up screens. I don't care about screens. We're going to get rid of them anyway. I don't use them at all. They're just a pain in the neck because of exactly that reason. Yeah, so I don't know, this guy spends a lot of money on cars, but he didn't do a whole lot to keep that property up or whatever, right? I don't really know. So, okay, so clearly we're going to need a paint job in here, and that's going to have to happen. And I like doing paint jobs in empty rooms, so that's really, really great. The space feels good enough for some basic furniture in here without being too tight. And your view out the front, let's see if I can not overexpose this, is thus, right? Gets a little, see my guy across the street, I think he could be a lot worse, right? I wish he didn't have his rusty truck and his big stupid boat and all that stuff, but there's not a pile of junk underneath that house, right? It's not that way. Going down, could be a different narrative for those guys. All right, so there's the view out the front. We've got this stuff, and we got this guy here. He's got a little junk collector in him, and he's got a dog that barks a lot, and we're concerned about that. I don't know if you can not buy a property because of a dog, but we've lived that hell before, right? It just never ending. It never stops. So maybe that dog will get used to us. I'm not really sure, but eventually the dog has to either die or I'll kill him. All right, so we've got this hallway, right? So that's this weird, I'm gonna go with pantry. This door is just bigger than most. That's not a standard door. I don't know what the heck here, right? So attic is up there. This looks to be that's about 5 by 6 is what that looks like. I'd call it maybe a pantry as long as you keep the junk out of the way of the drop-down staircase. There are quite a few little, details that we really spend a lot of time thinking about and fixing, right? So, you just schmooze some paint over the hinges and, go straight over them here, and you get basically exactly what you would expect is some drippy paint, right? So it doesn't ever work and it doesn't cover. Coming into this is the guest bath. The toilet and tub, it's got some problems here, right? I think it's doable, but it's not maybe as bad as they can get. Probably put some new hardware in it, right, just to freshen it up, because it seems to have sort of this corrosion of some sort. You can see it's all corroded up there. I'm not sure if that's pure shower or just because we're in saltwater air, right? I don't know, but it's pretty prevalent throughout. You can look at the fixture here, right? And that's kind of how, whoops, let me try that again, and there we go. You know, that metal gets into a rough shape. You know, you got to clean that thing up. This doesn't look horrible. Toilet doesn't look horrible. It just needs to be cleaned. This is crazy. This has got to come down. There's like 1,000 screws holding this long, weird thing for towels, you know, up. And yeah, it's like, you know, like this, right? See that? There's a lot. It's all over. It's everywhere, right? This kind of thing. They're just falling apart because they're old, and nobody ever has maintained them. All right, we got Neil. He's rocking the inspection. Give me a thumbs up again there, dude. There you go. All right, it's from my family. I'll put it on YouTube, but my family's going to be the primary watchers here. So, all right. Well, you know.
In the tub, did you see that big around the drain? How it's damaged around there?
No, let's go look at that. He caught something I didn't even notice.
I figured that they bought the wrong size drain.
Tried to put it around it.
They putted it.
But man, from my experience, that doesn't last too long. You see all that putty around.
Okay, can you pull the light away? Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, so, oh, well, I've never actually seen that done before. Oh,
I actually had one yesterday, and on the back part of it, the whole tub was just rusted out.
Yeah, we had a tub go bad in our house. I replaced that, so that fix is more what I'm not too familiar with. Okay, so this room is the guest room, and we're trying to figure out how we manage this. You got an ugly free fan for anybody who wants it. That's the water for this would be the shower and tub area, and that's kind of an interesting way to do that. Just put it in the bathroom, and we got the FLIR heat-seeking missile going here.
Everything looks good. No wire, no read.
So they would stand out as red if they were.
Anything over 130, we flag it.
Okay. Oh, you're at 106. Okay. Yeah, we've been running all day today.
Running all day. Got the AC running. I'm trying to simulate as much as I can. The dishwasher was running, things that draw a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing's overheating at all.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So the closets are as expected. There's pretty much nothing to them, but that's not the worst thing that can happen to you. You know, throw some shoes in there on this thing, right? This thing is completely wasted. That's got to go. But man, I've done that in my house too. You know, it's just the way that goes. You know, these things need to be cleaned up, right? You get in there and you look at the details, right? It's not there. It just needs to be cleaned up. This is somebody else's house. Doesn't match the way we think about, the way this should be done. All right, so here's the other room, and so now we're in the back. That's west. That's facing west out there. You can see the sun is really trying to come in here, but no big deal. This room, I will say, is nice and cool. It is just really, really nice in here. This is the master. So you tear down, all this junk, patch holes, and then get busy with some paint. And I think you're going a long way. So here's the master closet, which actually doesn't even have those. It doesn't even have those things for shoes, right? That's two people, a man and a woman in that little tiny closet, and it's small. It's a small house. We got 832 square feet, I think it is. So this bathroom was redone. Now, if you come over here and you look at this, this is more proper, right? This actually works. This is not crazy loose or anything. You can tell it's a little bit higher quality than all the other junk. And this is actually pretty nice. I like this. This is cool. You can see the metal isn't even old enough to have. The metal's not even old enough to have gotten funky yet. So that's probably more to come. This will hold some stuff. I mean, it's no big deal here for a small house. And then you got the shower, which slides open like so and like so, and it seems to operate pretty nice. We've got this, this sexy flush type for your pooping and your peeing. You got that. So you come here, a little place for the liquids and so forth, and shower, what do you call it, rain shower head. Yeah, nothing wrong with any of this stuff, right? I'm gonna give it the thumbs up that this room in particular is probably the nicest space in the entire house. This is a laminate floor, and we notice that when you look if you come over here and you look out into, you can see some ripples. Yeah, you can see them. Yeah, you can even see them on camera, right? So you got that action going. Unfortunate, right? It's just a bit of an issue. It feels a little soft right here, but I don't know if it's anything to get into a twist about, but that's probably, part of it. So, yeah. Okay, well, I think that wraps up the inside, and Neil is still working on his gig, and then we'll have us a chat after we are done, or he is done, and then we'll have a 5-hour trip to figure out and talk about on the way home, see what we want to do with this.